Hello everyone, Batpan here. Welcome to devlog number 2. In this devlog, I'm going to show you what I've covered in the past week, what things I've added. We're going to dive deeper into the mechanics, a little bit deeper. I'm not going to, explain them in this video because it's not a tutorial video. First, I have to say, I didn't have a lot of time this week, so I didn't do a lot for this project. But the things I've added, I'm going to show you. So, first thing I've added is first thing I did is I made the environment a little bit darker because having lots of light actually makes it super, not scary. So I think what I have in mind is I'm gonna make it brighter for the start scene, and when we take the note I can make it a little bit darker. So you might ask what this is. This is a look at cube. We're gonna look at it. You're gonna see in the following minutes. So you saw in the past video that we made an interaction system, people looking at us. So what I did new for this game was I added, as you guys might know, we're gonna come back here and this metro station, when each time the train passes, it's gonna loop, and we're gonna come back again, we're gonna do some more stuff, and yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the story. So we take the note, we take it, we don't have any pages, so we take the note. We cannot open the door, and we also cannot go up there. I have to make a function, so when we go here, we wake up from here again. So you see, we take the note and people are, the people have disappeared. And what I added is look at function. We look at the clock and it's gonna say some dialogues, and then it's gonna have some effect and the train passing, and we're gonna load the next scene. And what I did in between is I added a loading scene. It's gonna come inside this scene. It has a script which is actually like this. We don't need these two because I'm not gonna do it with booleans. I'll be switching the scenes using player prefs. We come into this scene. This is the loading scene. I've added nothing in here. We come into this scene, we check what we have, then we check what scene we were inside before. For example, if we were in the scene number 1, we go to scene number 2. So how I did it is I made player prefs. As you guys might know, player prefs are an easy way to save some default and normal values. It is not perfect way to save your stuff. It is only for saving some small numbers, not important datas. So if you want to save your games, it is recommended not to use player prefs, but I actually did for my previous game, Fractured Psyche. So it is actually cool, but if you want to have more advanced saving system, don't use player prefs. So what it does is I go back to my scene, I go to my get up scene. You see, when I go to this trigger colliders, I have a collider which I'm gonna activate the second time I go inside it. It is like this. I deactivated the mesh renderer. So when I go inside it, a function is gonna be triggered. And that function is, we're gonna look at the, you see, I made a function. So we look at the clock, we say some dialogues, then we look at the train. So how did I do it? For this game, for my new game, this game, unlike Fractured Psyche, my previous game, inside this game, I'm trying to make everything global so I can actually use it for my next games, or I can actually, fix the bugs faster, because as I said in my previous devlog, Fractured Psyche's codes were very confusing. I couldn't read it, and I couldn't fix some bugs on it. And the experience I got from that project is I'll make everything global. It's gonna take some time, but it is worth it. I try to code as clean as possible. I try to do everything inside voids, because inside Fractured Psyche I wrote everything in for example, void update, which is actually not a cool thing to do. It makes everything messy, and when you come back to fix a bug or do anything or add a feature to your game, it's gonna be a lot harder for you. If you work with Cinemachine, you can give it a look at function. You can look at some stuff. So I had one vcam for the look at. You see, I have my normal virtual camera, I have my normal cam, and I have my look at cam. This one wasn't there at first. It was just this look at cam, and I would go ahead and call this function. It is actually normal not to understand the codes. It is because it is my codes and I didn't explain it to you guys. So what I did inside this void is I get a vcam and I deactivate that vcam. What I do is I deactivate my actual camera and I activate the virtual camera for the look at function. and I look at the clock. And I could have, you know, done everything with one, you know, virtual Cinemachine virtual camera. But the thing is, when I looked here at the clock and then I set the VCam to look at the train, suddenly it would just jump from here to here. And it wouldn't just go from here, lerp from here to here. It wouldn't be, you know, smooth. So the idea I came up with was to make another look at cam, and I just gave the look at cam number 2 this destination, and I gave look at cam number 1 this destination. So when I, you know, deactivate look at cam number 1 and activate look at cam number 2, it goes from here to here, as easy as that. And 2 look at cams makes it easier for you. You can, if you have 2 look at cams, you can look at anything smoothly. You don't have to, you know, make 3 or 4 look at cams, because when you make look at cam 1, for example, the clock, and look at cam number 2, the cube, when you're, you know, looking at the cube, you can make look at cam 1's target, for example, this player. Then you just deactivate look at cam number 2 and you look at the player. And this was the idea I got that made everything so much easier. And the other thing I made was the effect. I think I created it here. This is the Metro Glitch effect. It gets my post VHS Pro, which is a VHS Pro asset that I'm using for my game. VHS Pro asset, which I actually made a video on. You can watch it. It's on how to create this, you know, VHS effect, but it's a paid asset. So I just get the values and I change them, and I made this function global, and I made it instance static, as I told you in the previous, you know, devlog, and I can access it anywhere I want. And I just call this function and I just give it my camera's VHS Pro script, and it changes, you know, those effects on that. So what I do is I look at the clock, I say my dialogues, I then call this function, which makes everything, you know, weird for the camera, glitchy. Then I look at this, you know, train, and the train starts moving, and when the train is moving, I call this metro passing animation, which is a script that I have. And after, you know, doing the animation, after 4 seconds, it loads the next scene, which is the loading scene. And for the player prefs, as I said, I give its name, the scene I want to load. So I want to load the get up scene. So I give it this string, and it's going to save it. Then it's going to go inside this loading scene. When the loading scene starts, it comes inside this switch case, which is kind of this if else, and it checks if you have get up, then it loads the get up scene. As I said, I didn't have a lot of times to work on my project, but these were the things that I've added, and a little deep dive into the functions of this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be amazing. You can subscribe to see more contents like this. You can tell me anything in the comment section below, anything you want to tell me, anything you want to ask, any suggestions, anything you want to say about the game, you can tell it in the comment section below. I would be very happy to answer all your questions and talk with you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.